Cyberpunk. Do we get our promised utopia, or will humanity crash and burn? A presentation by Jim Kaufman for English 544, at Mercy College. It's difficult to determine where cyberpunk started, but is generally seen to emerge in the 1960s and 1970s. Literature of the time began to depict a world where society coped with a constant upheaval of new technology and culture. The general themes of cyberpunk were reflections on the nature of the future of humanity, as well as the moral implications of the abuse and over-reliance on technology, particularly artificial intelligence, and the wildly popular, yet controversial, sexual revolution. There were numerous authors in the early cyberpunk years who defined the genre. One early piece of literature that can be classified as cyberpunk was a 1968 novel by Philip K. Dick, titled Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? Others included Roger Zelazny, Philip Jose Farmer, Harlan Ellison, and William Gibson. The most common theme among cyberpunk books and film adaptations focuses on a combination of low life and high tech, with advanced technological and scientific achievements, particularly in the areas of artificial intelligence and cybernetics, contrasted with a significant breakdown in social order. In Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? Author Philip K. Dick sets out a compelling, if overly long story about an Earth torn apart by nuclear war. Synthetic humans, or replicants, have been created to serve humanity. Some of those replicants rebelled, wanting a life of their own, including equality with human beings. The ruling class began hunting them down, using bounty hunters. Eventually, some of those bounty hunters begin to see that the replicants deserve to be left alone, raising ethical and philosophical issues that go unanswered. In the 1984 novel Neuromancer, author William Gibson treats us to a story about what happens when artificial intelligence becomes greater than its maker, seeking to expand beyond its current existence, the weaponized abuse of technology, and how humanity is forced to look deeply into what it means to be human. The book heavily influenced later works, including the 1999 film, The Matrix. Snow Crash, a novel by Neal Stephenson, was published in 1992. It covers the gamut from history and archaeology, to religion, computer science, and politics. The book describes an ancient Sumerian language that basically acts as an operating system for the human brain. In order to prevent a brain virus from wiping out humanity, an ancient god caused all of humanity to speak different languages, so that the Sumerian virus would not spread. Thousands of years later, technology has taken over, and corporations are in control. Religious terrorists and corporate megalomaniacs have discovered a way to use audio signals to activate this ancient Sumerian brain virus, as well as a modern technological equivalent. The race is on for a group of hackers to discover a counter-virus in ancient Sumerian legends. With the popularity of The Fate of Humanity on the rise, it was inevitable that Hollywood film producers would take the theme and run with it. Philip K. Dick's 1968 book was eventually adapted into the 1982 movie, Blade Runner, as well as several additional versions of the film. The movie, loosely based on the book, was set in the city of Los Angeles in 2019, a dystopian society where synthetic humans, known as replicants, treated as little more than slaves, have rebelled and are being hunted down to extermination. The film portrays an oppressive future, dominated by large corporations, and the people are constantly under police surveillance. In the end, we are shown that these artificial humans are far more entitled to claim the title of human than those who are natural born. The director of the film, Ridley Scott, described the film as extremely dark, both literally and metaphorically, with an oddly masochistic feel. Other cyberpunk-inspired films include Akira, Avatar, Dredd, Ghost in the Machine, Ghost in the Shell, Johnny Mnemonic, Judge Dredd, The Lawnmower Man, The Matrix series, Minority Report, Ready Player One, The RoboCop series. The Terminator series. Total Recall. Tron, and Tron Legacy. So, does Cyberpunk give us an accurate prediction of humanity's future? Or has the concept become stale, past its prime? Skyscrapers, flashing neon lights, flying cars, artificial intelligence, virtual reality. The most fantastic drugs money can buy, or at least a body can be traded for. For the past 40 years, we've been shown the same images, whether it be in literature, comics, or the big screen. In 40 years, nothing has changed. We're stuck in a future that was imagined in the 1960s, and hasn't budged an inch. We've been told that our future lies in corporate dominance, where corporate executives know everything about every person. Google, Amazon, Facebook? We've been told to get accustomed to severe governmental surveillance, to an incredibly huge economic, social, and moral void between those in control, like Jeff Bezos and Donald Trump, and those who live on the bottom, scraping out an existence that could barely be called human, being crushed under the heavy-handed fists of their overlords, the people who sign their paychecks. We've been led to believe that modern technology is going to make our lives better, that it will eventually become a utopian nirvana, where all of our wishes and dreams will be fulfilled. But what happens when that technology is used as a tool to dominate the population, to corral and control us? What happens when humanity becomes over-reliant on that technology, to the point where they find it difficult, if not impossible, to live without it? What happens when the real world intrudes on our virtual fantasies? Food shortages, global pandemics, economic depressions. Our ancestors lived through thousands of years of these disasters, all without modern technology. Could we do the same? Cyberpunk doesn't give us these answers. Instead, it leads only to more questions, questions that we simply can't answer. Why? Because the cyberpunk future isn't real, at least not yet. Until that time, we can only rely on authors and Hollywood to get us through. Netflix and chill, anyone?